Hello there, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, all of whom are loved and welcomed in this space. Welcome to a brand new episode of Bad Betches, the only Bad Batch-focused discussion show hosted by the Imperial Senate Podcast. I'm your host, Charlie Ashby, and joining me, as always, are my beloved co-hosts, Nicky Kumar and Claire Stripling.
Hello!
Hey, everyone.
How's it going?
Back.
Hello!
Yeah, not
Happy
too bad.
Sunday.
Yeah. Life is swell. Life is
Where are you
busy.
now? You're in a new location?
I am in Portland, Oregon. For any Portland fans out there.
Woo!
I'm in your neck of the woods. So yeah, it's fun. A lot of stuff going on up here. So been busy, but always got time to watch some Star Wars.
Of course.
We will
What about you,
find
Claire?
time. We will make time.
Oh yeah.
Doing well. It's been a very busy 2 weeks, and it's nice to get back together and discuss our bad batch, the good batch in our hearts, though.
And it was someone's birthday, wasn't it? Claire?
Oh, it was my birthday. And then it was Noah's birthday yesterday. And I gotta say,
tomorrow is Nikki's birthday.
and tomorrow's Nikki's birthday. It's just like, man, what was going on 9 months prior for all of us?
It was
My
a
Lord.
very horny
It's a ripe time.
It's a ripe time.
The moon
My
was
God.
out, looking good.
So many maybes.
Cuts to just two parents being like, look, we're going to make a Star Wars kid.
The force is strong with these swimmers.
Put the lightsaber lamp on. Beautiful stuff. Good to know that we've had a good week then. We'll celebrate Nikki's birthday tomorrow. Claire, you had your birthday. Had fun? All good?
Oh yeah, all good. Exhausted, but good.
How many
I'm
Lulas
still
did you give your
recovering.
birthday?
How many Lulas? Oh, I would give my birthday a solid 10 out of 10 Lulas for sure. I mean, I went to Galaxy's Edge for the first time, and God, what else did I do? I went to Sir. I'm a really big fan of the show Vanderpump Rules, and I went to Sir, and I met Peter, and I saw Lisa Vanderpump walk next to my table, and I nearly had a heart attack, and my heart fell out of my butt, and I nearly died right there into my whatever. I can't remember what the very clever name of the delicious mezcal spicy jalapeno cocktail I had, but I was just like, Lisa.
Was it good then?
It was good. It was very good.
Oh, I don't
Many
know
Lulas.
I don't know what the British equivalent of that would be. Maybe like first dates. I've seen that French dude. I can't remember his name. Nikki, do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't, sadly.
Oh, okay. Well, there's Google first dates and you'll find out. But yeah, we're here to talk about the Bad Batch though, not about birthdays. Although unless there's an episode which features a birthday, I'm sure we'll talk about it then. But yeah, discussing this week's episode with us is a special guest. She's the creator of the fantastic store Creature Cartel and currently hosts Mandatorian Creed on Octa Radio. It's Tori Fox.
Hello. Hello. I don't know if Claire could see me, but I was like flailing over the Vanderpump stuff, by the way.
I know.
Very cool. I went there once. I think I went to Villa Blanca once.
Did you?
I want to make it to all the rest. So yeah, good stuff.
It was good stuff. And we drove by it and I'm like, oh, that's Sir. That's Pump. That's Tom Tom. I'm sitting there
like
going,
they're in
oh
like
my
a
God.
block. Like you can just do a little loop.
Oh my God. It was overwhelming. It really was. So thank you for that. Somebody else on the stream understands me right now. So
Oh yeah.
it was great.
I have
Get
no
your,
idea what
Vanderpump
any
Rules
of those words meant, by
questions.
the way. Sorry, Nikki.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, everyone get their Vanderpump Rules questions in the chat, so
Please do.
the two experts can get those answered for you.
Yes. I'm going to derail this show even more than usual. I'm ready for
It's
it.
not the Bad Batch anymore.
That's right. But welcome. Welcome
you.
to our home.
It's great to be
Our
here.
StreamYard
I'm
home.
excited.
Yeah, I
It's
guess my first
lovely.
question. Yeah, how are you? How was your week been?
Good. I feel like anytime someone asks me that question, it's really hard to answer because like time isn't really real anymore. It's like really hard to think about what actually happened this week. But my boyfriend and I went to our local science center, which was a fun time. And then I'm gearing up for on Tuesday will be the next release for the collaboration that I do with Savannah Odit and Melissa Bradley for our Celestial Sisters collection. So we'll have our Rebels pieces out on Tuesday. So taking pictures and stuff for that. So yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, heck yeah.
And of course watching the Bad Batch. Hello.
Right? The basics.
The basics.
Designing and bad batching. Oh, the best.
And Bad Batching, yes.
If anyone is watching and wants to ask us any questions about the episode, feel free to just comment wherever you are, whether that's Twitch, Twitter, or YouTube. We will answer your questions for sure. Unless we don't, and then I apologize again.
We will
That
most
question.
likely answer your questions.
Let's delve into this week's episode. As always, we've grouped our talking points into specific topics. We've done our best to put them in chronological order, but feel free to bounce around as much as you like, because quite frankly, we're not going to stick to those rules, because we're the Imperial Senate Podcast, and we don't do well inside of a box. So, let's start off with the first topic, which is, if it loads, Blue Moon and Searching for Supplies. Yes, a very witty title that I came up with because I love Pantora.
Pantora's pretty great.
But it's, you know what? It's my favorite planet that has the letters Panora and has blue people.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I would agree with that statement for sure. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
What
And I
did you
thought of
guys think?
Saf right away.
Oh,
Poor
Saf is
Saf.
poor.
She was
No.
so close. So close. Could have had it.
But we don't know what happened between the Clone Wars and now. There could have been
Yeah.
another. Someone could have been fired from the Senate.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
For
talking about,
everybody.
Ryo Chichi.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
that's-
our
I know,
pod
as
mom
soon as-
staff loves her so much.
She's the best. I was kind of like, but there was a part of me that was like, get real. It's not happening.
They're like, we fulfilled
What a
our.
rocket dream.
They fulfilled our quota of having one New Zealander. They can't fulfill it any further. You can't have more than one accent. You got Omega, that's it. You can't get Chuchi involved.
So sad.
But again, you don't know. Yeah. I was really upset we didn't get to see George Lucas.
The Baron.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If only.
Yeah. I will
Like-
say, oh, go ahead.
No, so I just really wanted him to play himself, but like maybe they recorded on behind the scenes of Mandalorian season 2, and they got like George to say specific stuff out of context. It's like,
Yeah, it's just
oh,
like random
this is
stuff,
great.
but they just make it sound like he's, yeah.
It's just him going, this is great. I like this. Like, wow, he did a recording booth. But
Why'd you build all these sets? Just a lot of that.
Yeah, I was gonna say not to sound like the only reason I know this is because I looked it up. Last night I did the Geeky Waffle stream, and Chuchi and what's Papa Noida? They
There we
are
go.
from the moon of Pantora,
Mm.
Oh.
so it's a
that does-
different,
yeah.
which I didn't know until last night. It's kind of hard to keep up with all the planets.
Is the
So,
moon like the
but
cooler
technically-
exclusive one?
I guess
I think
know, but-
I think Pantora is the moon, though, right?
I don't
Because-
know. I think there's a distinction from what I read, and it was a quick look up, so maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But I think there is a distinction there, but maybe not. I don't
I'm trying to
know.
remember. I'm trying to
That
remember.
was
I
the
think it
question: was is Pantora the city? Is Pantora the the planet? Is
there was-
Pantora the moon?
there was the planet, which I think was the one that had all the what they called. What are those aliens called?
The Tolls. You're talking about the
The
Tolls.
Tolls. Yeah, there was the planet where the Tolls came from, and I think that was
Let
like
me
a
look
colonial
it up again.
thing.
I'll look it up again.
And they were like,
Hold on.
"Hey, you can't live here. You stole it from us." And like,
This is ours.
I think.
Okay, so
that-
she. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I have it.
You go. You're the guest.
Was a female Pantoran politician from the moon of Pantora, which orbited the planet. Oh, okay. Okay. I didn't read the rest of the sentence. It happens to the best of us. The planet Orto-Plutonia. So I guess.
Aha.
Okay, so that's the moon. So you're on the moon. Wow.
I'm
all right.
so glad that my
I've
pun
been-
still stands.
Thinking about this for the entire past day, so I'm glad that I finally read the rest of the sentence.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, I just thought it's really cool to see the planet for the first time because
It's gorgeous. Oh,
Yeah.
It's so cool. And it's so almost like Batu vibes too in like
Right.
a lot of places, which I love.
It's very much that sort of like Middle Eastern sort of aesthetic of the markets and
Yes.
parapets and stuff like that.
yeah, I definitely felt like it was very much like Rousseau, like Catholicism. You know, like when they had like the Russian sort of architecture where you see in like St. Petersburg, and then I read the comments and everyone was like, "This is Agrabah." I was like, "Okay, well,
Yep.
I guess Aladdin's the go-to jump there." But yeah, it was a really beautiful city. It was a mixture of like Middle Eastern aesthetics, but also very much prequel Coruscant, which I always appreciate. And
Yes. Very nightlife, neon underbelly
Mhm.
deliciousness. It's like, oh,
you can tell Matt Wood and David Acord got out the sweet sounds of Coruscant CD that they've got somewhere. Like put it in, put every single sound in it. You had the speeders, you had the beautiful like sound of. I'm sure there was a few angry speed people going. Rawr! But yeah, it was really fun to hear them.
Yeah, I remember seeing
Got
David
space
Collins was hyping
taxis?
it up a lot as well. He's
He
like,
was.
"That's a poor baby."
But yeah,
Amazing.
obviously the episode starts off. The Bad Batch escaped from the previous episode, but things are still going a bit awry at the ship. They got the whole scanning of the ship is now placed in Imperial documents. So they're searching for the specific code of the ship, and they need to replace it. Like the Ghosts, what's the actual system called? Like the same thing the Ghost had, where it changes the ship's sort of signature every time they go somewhere new. And also, they need to pick up supplies because they're running out of space sausages,
Yep.
which
Yes.
is
Essential.
very dangerous. You need your space sausages. Everyone, please
Yes. Mhm.
eat your space veg and eat your space sausages because it's good for you. I really love, like, I know people are like, "Oh yeah, this is filler again. This is generic Star Wars where they have to do certain things." I'm like, but isn't that kind of the fun? Like seeing them go off to new planets and having to pick up stuff. It's the RPG vibes where like you're not just constantly refilled. You have to go out and actually get stuff. I guess from my point of view, it was nice to see the soldiers that are so readily get sort of supplies, food, weapons from the military, and now they're like, "Oh shit, we're on the run. We can't get that." It's the same way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and we have a baby.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
It's especially funny for them because it's like because they are the squad that goes out probably away from supply lines like for extended periods, so they're probably of anyone most suited to making their own way, and it's still alien to them like what to do. So yeah, it's just always fun seeing, and I love their like I love Hunter, especially his what's the word, like civilian clothing and Echo's droid clothing. It's just fun to see them like try to blend in, and I always wonder how much of that they even did before. It's like what kind of missions they did, if they were that kind of covert or not, or if they were always armored and just going and shooting the place up. So it's kind of funny just to see them like that.
Yeah, it kind of seems like they definitely have some sort of like they have like Lando with his like, "Oh, let me pull like this helmet out" or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I would like to see their little like disguise closet or whatever.
Glasses with the mustache.
On this, that's definitely what Wrecker brought.
Yeah, big
He
time.
was like, "Don't worry, I got this."
I think Wrecker wears helmets like Chewbacca does in the Lego Star Wars games, where it's like tilted to a point on top of his head and does not blend in whatsoever.
Wrecker's looking like Dave Bautista with the little glasses.
Oh my goodness.
And that is what I want to see in Star Wars. I also
Yep.
think Echo's costume it's definitely like his kink. He has that for a specific reason. You're like, yeah, treat me like a droid. Like, because everyone's like, I feel bad for him. I feel like really like sad, like that Hunter's being horrible to him and like derogatory. But I'm like, no, it's not that. He has that for a specific purpose, and that is he goes out on the town. He likes to pretend a few times.
Like to knock off a
It
few
made me
restraining
kind of
bolts.
sad. It made me kind of sad because I felt like, and I mean, again, you know, this is a fictional universe. Like, are we going to explore this or not? But when you think about the timeline of how long it's been since he was actually hooked up to a thing, like, I think it's only been a few weeks, right? Like, it hasn't been that long. So I'm like, hope he's okay. I mean, I guess he's just like, this is what we got to do to get through, you know, like we need this, you know, we need to get this, but I felt bad for him.
I like how quickly he went from kind of insulted to I know my worth.
Yeah.
It was kind of
Yes.
reassuring. He's like, look, I'll deal with this, but we need to talk about how
Yeah, good for
bad
him,
I'm
honestly, to at least say,
Yeah.
"Oh no, baby, I'm worth more than that."
Mhm. Mhm.
And also, like, the Bad Batch broke so many freaking laws in this episode. They were not.
I
Like,
really enjoy Captain.
good.
I also was thinking about that. I'm like, he's just like we've got like hijacking of vehicles constantly. We've got
There was a headshot on a cop.
yep,
My God.
Selling illegal arms.
yeah. So
Illegal arms.
Yeah.
And poor Echo, and when he walks out with all the droids, they're like, "Hey, wait, you're not a droid." He's like, "And you got me for a deal." No, you didn't. You just straight up robbed the guy because he bought you, and you walked off, and you're the property supposedly. So not only doesn't he have money, he doesn't have the merchandise either. So literally, no, it's not a good deal. What are you talking about, Echo? Come on, man.
No, that guy was yeah. I don't fuck that dude.
No, yes, but like,
yeah, I don't feel
get
bad
your
at
point.
all.
I don't either.
Thieving is still yeah. Like I guess our comment is like don't kill people and don't steal fruit. Is that our official stance on?
That's right.
Yes.
I know.
Heard as
It has
well.
to be.
I love how like the only thing that got actively condemned in this episode that was done was Echo being like, "Wait, you didn't pay for that." Of all the things that go on, that's the one we're gonna pick. Okay, all right. At least Echo's got the moral Echo. At least Omega's got the moral compass going on. Like, my lord.
Oh my gosh. I really enjoyed too. It seems like, I mean, I think Echo's kind of moving away from it, but I always think about in the Cut and Run episode where he's like, "Oh, so we hang out with deserters now," and it's just like, this is literally like, welcome to the Bad Batch. Like, it's funny to see him still be like, he's still very much like a reg, you know. He's like, wait a minute, this is against the rules.
I love something.
Can't do that.
D. Bradley Baker said it in an interview where they talked about him switching through the voices. And he talked about how he still plays Echo with that, still not quite used to it, still obsessed with the rules. So like he plays him even a little like sterner, a little grumpier because he's still not like down with the plan.
Yeah, he's still not fully there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, also, Echo, like, I hate to tell this to you, buddy. The second that you took the kid and left Camino, you're kind of a deserter too.
Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly. That's what I think Tech says. He's like, we are all at this
Yep.
point, so
Yep.
it doesn't
It's
matter.
less, leaving your brothers and more like your brothers have changed and they've grown older and they've moved in with the wrong crowd, and so you have decided to, you know, change ways and go out on your own. Good for you, because
While we were
I don't want to be open, but the Empire is bad, guys. Like,
don't know how to
and
tell you.
onto something there.
How horrifying was that shot? I think it was like a twofold horror for me. The first thing was seeing the clones, just in general, all covered in white, doing the march together, all in order. The thing that made it worse, though, was everyone cheering them on.
Yep.
Yeah, that was
like,
rough. And that's what I think I'm most excited about with this series so far is like, because I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if I'm super duper attached to anybody yet. I think I really just like Tech, but I just want to smooch Tech. But anyway, I think it's so interesting to see this period of transition with like them talking about, well, now you need a chain code and we're gonna switch your money over, and then like with the parade and And it was interesting, that dialogue of, well, they're happy the war is over. And like, yeah, a lot of people I'm sure were just like, oh, finally, we don't have to deal with that anymore. But they don't realize what they're replacing it with, I don't think yet. It's kind of sad.
And it fit with the theme of this show so well, that we've seen every episode since, and like just how fast you can slip into the fascism
Very
of the
quickly.
Empire. And it's, you see it through history, you can see it through the show, and it's like, yeah, exactly. And like, a people, a vulnerable society, there for the taking, and I mean, it's the classic thunderous applause line, right?
Oh, yes.
So yeah, no, I think that's what's cool. Like for as much as, this was like an action heavy, kind of like fun chase thing with, a cool bounty hunter that we'll fawn over later. Like, yeah, I mean, that it still touched at the heart of this whole era, which is how fast it degrades.
I definitely agree with that, and I think I saw something this week that was like, this episode doesn't really focus much on the Empire stuff, and I don't think that's the case, because I think it's just everything we see in the episode stems from the Imperial occupation, whether that's the way that the retailers deal with stuff now. Like we see the guy at the port, like being like, "Hey, I'll get some money off you guys if I don't report you," to seeing the Imperials just straight up walking around having their own stuff there. But what the Bad Batch does really well is show you how the same thing is viewed differently depending on the population, the planet, the people. So I think it's a great idea to show both Pantora and Onderon and show you how one group of people react one way and the other group of people, one group of people openly get killed because they won't stand for this, and the others are straight up applauding them and giving their names away to be on the database. And like Nicky said, we see both of them in the real world. So yeah, pretty crazy stuff.
Or one out for freedom.
Effing chat for the freedom.
Here, take this L.
I also want to shout out to the really, really cute clone trooper doll. That was like the ginger one from Rogue One.
Yeah.
Very Galaxy's Edge.
I was gonna say, and because I'm a weirdo, I like looked in on this really closely. I was like, I have to check to see it. At first you're like, is it made out of the wood like Jin? But then it kind of almost looked more stuffed animal-y to me. And so then I looked up the one that's more of a stuffed animal from Galaxy's Edge, and it's like almost the exact same thing, but the visor is the clone visor.
Oh,
okay.
So cool.
The one that they have at Galaxy's Edge is not the clone visor. So I'm like, new toy in the future? Probably.
Yeah, it's like it's exactly the same thing, different head, and we're all gonna buy it 100%. Like, who cares? And then just introduce different phases. We'll buy even more.
I also got a massive shout out to the return of the Buggles creature.
So happy. Oh my gosh.
So amazing. I know they have a name. I don't know it.
It's a Vorpack.
There we go.
Vorpack.
There we go. Space dog.
Space doggo.
It's the Buggles.
There's many space doggos, but it is one of them.
But the reason why I loved that was because we got like a 2-punch hit of. We had the Loft Cats, and then we had the doggos, and I thought that was really. I was like, we had cats and dogs in this. Like, who? I want to live in Pantora.
Living together.
And then also, like, we have the other Resistance reference of Clink being one of the same thick boy droids. That's what I will call them. I don't care what their actual name is. They are thick boy droid forever. But when thick boy droid would walk up,
CC.
That's what I've decided. Yeah,
Yep.
TH1CC. Like
Beautiful.
BO1.
Yes.
B01. There we go.
It's a
Thick
mouthful.
boy. Oh my goodness.
I mean, all of those droids were just like, and again, it's the sound design. I don't know if it's like a major issue of the sequel trilogy, because there was like so many great new sounds of new droids like BB-8 and what's his name from
Dio.
Rise of Skywalker. Dio. I'm so sorry, Dio. But it was really great to hear a lot of the astromech sounds from like the prequels and the original trilogy make it come back, and like it just hits differently. I don't know what. I think it's a few more different alternate sounds all used at once. I thought was a really nice little touch. And again, I was like, I don't know who these droids are. I don't know their backstory. They could have murdered an old lady like Crosshair, and I would still die for them.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting, like you're talking about with the Astromechs and then with the Vorpax. Like, I kind of place this in my mind mentally with like the Mandalorian, where I really enjoy the Mandalorian because it does feel like it's pulling from all the different eras, and so that like Bad Batch already very much feels that way, and I love that, just with those subtle things. But
yeah, and I think a lot of those subtle things even are what made this episode just really like special and unique in its own way, because like the world building, just visually and sound wise, it was so awesome. And like just we were joking about the I guess what was he, like a antique dude? the guy who was trying to sell a bomb to. Like just looking at the grand dude, like just looking at him with his little like spectacles on, and he's like inspecting, and it was like it's just a really fun like slice of the galaxy to have given. And even the crowd, when you're watching them cheer, when you're like horrified at them cheering, even just the people in the crowd are really cool to see. All the little designs, the clothes,
so good,
yeah,
so
it was
different and nice. Ugh.
Exactly, and it was just a really cool way to flesh out Pantora, and it just made it feel like alive again. Because obviously, a lot of the, like, I get even at the beginning of the episode, they're like, we need to go somewhere quiet. And even Seleucus was not super heavily populated or anything. So finally going to this place, Pantora, and being like blown away by just the hustle and bustle, and the design was just a really cool aspect to this episode.
Absolutely. And speaking about blending in all different eras and ties to the Mandalorian, we go to our next point, which is don't trust strangers.
The best stranger ever.
It's true, a great stranger, but just in general, as a PSA for everyone, we don't want to repeat this every week. Please don't walk off with strangers. They could be bounty hunters.
As much as we love her, she is big stranger and big danger in this episode. So, just saying, girl.
I don't know. If I was Omega, I would be like, that's my mom now. Bye.
Or he's like that video of that guy running on the beach where he's like looking behind and falling down.
No.
Fennec. Leave me alone, Fennec.
I mean, if it was actually me, yes. But if I was Omega, I would be like, oh, you're my mom now. Farewell, strange man.
Finally, someone who doesn't look like me. All these people are going to grow up to look like I'm going to look exactly like them. It's going to be crazy. But I really loved seeing. Obviously, like Ming-Na Wen is like, we know her as Mulan first and foremost, so we know that she's the queen of animation. But the way that she just so easily translated the character from live action to animation was just incredible.
Yeah,
and that's just like a applause for both her and also the animation team. But it felt so good. It felt so realistic, and I just thought it was such a great introduction of that character. Her ship, which I don't even know we get a name for, looks amazing.
Yeah, new design. I think.
Gorgeous.
Totally new design.
We get a really cool bounty hunter Boba Fett-esque reveal of the chair reveal, where you get a backwards chair reveal and it spins, and you're like, okay, this is what we're going for. Okay, I love this all the elements. I just really loved seeing her in this episode. I thought they did a really great job at implementing that character and getting to explore her a little bit more, because we know she has a bit of a soft side for the Mandalorian, and it isn't. I guess when you go back to watch the Mandalorian, it's not as though she out of nowhere gets the softer side. Now we know that she's had it throughout her whole career, and it's not that it means she's not a great bounty hunter. It means that it's the way she goes about stuff is very different to maybe Boba Fett. And I really like that.
She's so kind in a way.
Yeah.
She's kind in a way that reminds me of Melisandre in Game of Thrones, when she's like, if the sheep sees the blade, it spoils the meat. It's like
oh my god,
never show them the blade.
Oh
she's kinda,
no.
she's kind of in that way.
I don't know. I don't think Fennec Shan's gonna burn a kid alive.
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh
I don't
my
think-
god.
we don't know what kind of barbecues are happening at Jabba's
Oh
palace.
my gosh. No, I think she's actually nice underneath it all. Because I understand that it's like, well, of course she's trying to lure this kid, but I don't know. I think she's still nice underneath it all. And I definitely think at some point we will see something will happen. I'm unsure of what. She gets a soft spot for Omega or something, but I think she's gonna have she'll turn.
Yeah, and I think that the way that this episode ended, I think it does open up to see her quite a bit more actually in this season. Also, like other Clone Wars bounty hunters, very good chance that we could see some familiar faces show up. And depending on who put that bounty out and how many people, I guess, would know about said bounty, it's very, very possible we could get like a Cad Bane appearance. A girl can dream? A girl can dream? What? Do one of these?
Hey,
Oh, little lady.
They had the
Yeah,
animatics.
Please.
I will say
See-
I thought her appearance was gonna be maybe like an episode or something. Like I didn't want to get my hopes up, but it really feels like she's gonna be integral for the story, at least for most of this season, which is exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm really
think-
interested to see. Oh, sorry, you go, Nikki.
I was just gonna say, I think it's really cool that she locked her style down this early, because
It's one of the best Star Wars costumes of all time,
Yeah.
in my opinion. She has the best costume, so I wouldn't change it.
If it ain't broke,
Tuesday.
don't
she
fix
just
it.
knew. She just knew. She found it, and she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna wear this for the next 25 years. No
I
problem."
think she wore. I think at some point in maybe like A New Hope, she had like a new design, but everyone got really angry and commented online that they didn't like it. Like someone was like being dragged by the neck, like they're a bounty, and they're like, "I don't really like the costume." What would be, I guess, what would be like the Uber driver response for bounty hunter? Like, she gave me the person I wanted captured, but costume wasn't a great fan of. So 2 stars. She's like, I'm gonna go back to the original. Go back to the original Coke design and
Service good, ambiance bad.
But I definitely, I think Nikki, you're on a good track with the Melisandre point, because it's less that she, I guess she is nice, but she's not like purely in terms of like, I'm gonna let you live. She's smart. Like most bounty hunters might be like, well, I'll kill you because you fucked up my plan, and she's like, well, no, because this guy might see him again sometime, and I'm gonna get the money out of that. I'm gonna get all my worth out of it. So I really like that sort of thing. In terms of seeing more bounty hunters again, though, you brought up a really great idea, Claire, about Cad Bane. That, of course,
I want
comes
it.
up
Sorry.
the idea of, as we see here in this comment, maybe Boba could get involved, and we know that, like you said, Nikki, the Boba Cad Bane subplot, we might be able to see that. If we are going to get a group of bounty hunters, wouldn't it be really great if we saw people like Beckett? Because if they're going to introduce Aura Singh, we might see that famous confrontation.
I hope
That
not, because I
famous
think
cliff
he's
dive.
a liar and she's alive. So
That's my general thoughts about all the women in the solos. Like they all lied and still alive. Like they're still alive.
yeah, like
somehow.
Val's definitely still alive. She just wanted to be. She was like, "I'm done with this relationship. I'm out of here." Val's alive.
She's like,
Jumped on one of those Viper droids and wrote it down into the canyon.
Yeah,
She's like, I can do way better than this guy.
Come
on
texts
now.
Edward's Nest. She's like, he's gonna be here at this point. And we're gonna think about.
yes.
Oh my
You know, that'd be cool. I'd like to see that. Maybe like a secret, the Illuminati of bounty hunters.
A girl can dream. I mean, again, what I say with Star Wars is, if I don't see a body, they're not dead, and even then, there is room for negotiation.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Negotiations were short.
Negotiations never took place.
I would love to see the idea that maybe Boba and Fennec have worked together before. We see him save her in The Mandalorian.
It would be interesting, but I don't know. I just feel like maybe there would have been a small hint at that in Mando. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah. It's one of those things. It's like I have to see it before judging.
Yeah, I agree.
Because right now I'm like, I kind of like them. I kind of like that he was this like image in her head at first, and then when they met, that's like their first meeting, and like I like that now. And it's not to say, if they meet here, maybe. That
They might be really cool and make sense.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like
as of now, I like it.
Or maybe there's like a really random conversation they have in the book of Boba Fett. She's like, "Do you know I once beat up like all these dudes who look like you?"
Yeah, well, that's what like I'm most looking forward to is hiring some clone combos, because clearly at this point she is interacting with clones, so she's gonna be like, "You look familiar, my guy." like
my savior. Yeah, I really did love seeing Fennec's introduction in the show. I thought, I was surprised by the ending and the idea that maybe we might see her return. Might be an ongoing role throughout the series. Maybe if it's not even this season, maybe next season. But I thought it was really cool to see that a good bounty hunter trail. So maybe we'll see a few more other characters that get to be explored.
There's a lot of
everyone. I mean, everyone has been like banging the Forlom drum for years, and we might finally be able to get
banging the
Forlom drum.
I'm just saying, I'm still mad that Detours hasn't been released, because that first episode that leaked, that joke of Forlom meaning for love of money is the funniest thing.
Yeah.
And I can't believe it's not canon. I want that to be canon.
I was saying it's canon now in my head, so.
Absolutely.
The head has the strongest cannon.
Yes.
Oh, this is an interesting comment we got from a Donline dude who says, it loads. Come on, internet.
Internet, don't let us down.
It's getting there. Oh. You see that? I would love Boba to show up.
that showed up for us a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was up for a minute.
Well, do you know what? It's not my fault. But
It's time to fix it.
Yes, I see that. He's essentially the alpha clone anyway.
Yeah.
Alpha.
An interest. I kind of had that
Alpha
thought because
and
it
Omega.
seems like with Camino, there's lots of. They're kind of like, we need to do something here. I'm wondering if they need to get Boba again for DNA reasons or whatever.
I was actually thinking about this because I wasn't sure. Like, what's there to say technically that Omega isn't also like unaltered in that way, and they've been working on her for a while?
Yeah, I agree
and
with that statement.
Right, like we don't actually know her status as far as that right now. So
we have no idea where she came from. So
yeah, interesting. What's the emoji with the monocle? Yeah.
I was thinking the Chamberlain.
Yes. Oh, yes.
It's Charlie's like, I hate this. Please stop.
Imagine living with me. I do that all the time to my boyfriend. He hates it.
Yes. When that show came out.
Oh,
I'm trying to work out
when the show first came out, I was insufferable.
When that show came out, it was literally just Nikki, and every text conversation somehow had to come back to the gif of the Chamberlain going, Oh, gracious me.
What a time.
I still have no idea what you're talking about. But you know what? Good.
Make Skeksis canon.
That's why we don't have a season 2.
Yep.
I'm so
the world
sad.
ignored it.
I'm so sad.
It's
world ignored greatness.
It deserved better.
It did.
Yeah. Again, it's not my fault. Okay, blame Netflix.
Oh, we do.
Just in general, but yeah, blame Netflix. Yeah, it was just one of those. I do apologize for the internet. It's not cooperating today, which is always good. But yeah, I'm really. Oh God, our good friend Bob has just put Django spunk
What have you
supplies need foring. I feel like that's kind of the issue, though, isn't it? They've had the tubes.
Thinning it out for
Django's
too long.
For too long. How long do you reckon
Django's tubes. I don't like the idea of that phrase. Sorry, continue.
Dude, nobody hurt Kamino in pockets more than Mace Windu.
Do you think that, like, there was like one of the drop ships, like a Camino, was like, no,
Yeah, right.
Get the
Yeah, that's the thing,
testicles.
like, how much
Save
do
the
they know?
testicles.
How much do they know? Like, do they know a Jedi took him out? Like,
They're
they're
like,
just working for these guys who trashed their whole industry.
Order 66 wasn't actually part of the deal. Like, they brought it in afterwards. Like, fuck
Yeah.
this dude.
Yeah, and the questions that arise, the things I would ask Nala say, if given the opportunity.
That'd be a great interview, like a one-on-one between just us and Nala say.
Yeah,
The problem is she would not give a single straight answer.
Nope.
we need Oprah to do it.
Deflect, deflect, deflect.
Wednesday.
Oprah will
Oprah.
get the answers.
Oprah.
Like,
Were you
Oh,
cloned or were you cloned?
Oh my god.
Honestly, I watched that interview live. That was iconic. She was right.
It was so good.
Ugh, anyway.
I just got to see there, like, Lama Sue, like, just crying on there.
Yeah, I think Oprah could break her.
They
Yeah, for sure.
canceled our contract.
So you're saying that... So you're saying that they want to bring in normal people? What does it even mean?
Oh,
Like,
Jesus.
Tarkin is like, actually, I believe we... That's not what I meant. I would love to see, like, more of the Camino and stuff.
Mhm.
Again, I feel bad for the Kaminoans and the whole cloning project. So who knows? I don't want to spend a lot of this episode talking about Jango Fett's balls, but
It always comes back to them.
There's always next week.
Yeah, if you sign
Yeah.
up to our Patreon, we might do a whole show. We could try and get Tamara Morrison on. What do those bad boys look like, Tem?
Oh boy.
Speaking
Jesus.
of Tamara Morrison, let's go to AOTC Vibes, of which he appears in, and Animation Orb, because quite frankly, this episode was outstanding visually. What a great episode. I feel like out of everything, this is the best animation has looked for Lucasfilm. Like, just one
yeah.
episode has just been fantastic. Whether that's a Gotal screaming at you like, what do you want? Or if it's a space doggy yapping at you, I feel like nothing beats this. What did you guys
Whether
think
it's an
about it?
Aqualish with headphones on, just vibing.
What a
Oh,
moon.
beautiful.
Space dubstep.
Pretty great.
About
Pretty
space.
great.
I mean, I thought the Clone Wars had me like sold when they introduced Space New Order, and now they're like, do you know what? We're just introducing more space music types.
Yeah.
In my mind, he was just listening to that Dark Trooper track from.
Yes. Yes.
Oh man. We need Ludwig canonized.
Oh, for real. But I really enjoyed the flying in shot where they flew into Pandora. That was so pretty. And just in general, just really nice. But you're so right. Like it's so real while still being the stylized that we like, and it's just chef's kiss.
Yeah, I definitely feel you on that. Like, I have a very specific kink, and that is a ship with 3 wings flying into a planet in Star Wars in space. Like, every time I see an
This is
Imperial
just for
show, I have to hold the armrests. Like, I can't take this. So, yeah, I love those introduction shots. I love, like you said, the planetary, like the landing felt very live action. Just such a gorgeous shot. That I mean, it's something so small, like the hair flake, like flying around. The Omega smiles are always great to see.
That's the most pure thing that's ever been said on this show. Omega's smile is just so good to see.
Look, if you go back and watch the first episode,
It's
Bad
true.
Batch, there's a moment where her smile is so realistic, it blew me away.
And like I swear they do something with the lighting. Like when she smiles, literally things light up. Like literally, at least a tiny bit. I swear, she literally glows. They have her emanating radiant light every time, like she's happy.
She's just glowy.
It makes she's glow in the dark. Ain't glow in the light, apparently.
Sky High. I don't know. Has anybody seen Sky High?
Yes.
I glow.
You're like, oh, great, that's useful, right? Sure.
Something I love, because it always happens with like computer animated things. Like I was also thinking about it in video games. Like I remember watching cutscenes of like mid 2000s video games and be like, oh my god, it will never get better than this. And like, and it was like the same in
Sweet Summer Child.
right. Like, and I remember when like we've been like season 4 of Clone Wars and be like, oh my god, animation is so good. And now it's like, and like we've been saying like, oh, it's so cinematic like back then, and now we're, you know, fast forward how many years later, and like the things they're doing, like it truly feels cinematic. Like you could put this on any screen in the world and it would hold up like amazingly. Like even just little things like there's a part where like Fennec drops the gun and it like clatters onto the like the back of the speeder and the camera work on it, and it's just like it is so incredible, like the technical things they're doing. And I think this episode and the speeder chase was a great example for them to show off like all that stuff. It's just so cool.
And to parallel that speeder chase from Attack of the Clones, but now in animation, and look how far we've come. We still have space taxis. I'm very happy. Yeah. So happy.
Space taxis and the generic space police siren, which I loved from the Clone Wars, which I thought was great to bring that back. Donline Dude says, yeah, I did get a few vibes from the Bounty Hunter video game watching the episode. 100%. One of my favorite games is Bounty Hunter, and I think someone suggested that there might be like a few sound effects or maybe like audio files that might have been used in this episode, which, if that's true, I would love. Again, our good friend David Collins worked on that game, so maybe we'd have to ask him and see if that's true. I just love seeing the neon atmosphere of Coruscant reflected in Pandora. Love to see a good Star Wars city reflected that way. It's really cool. Yes, that is a great game. Team Money Starwell. The reason why I'm calling out names is because I don't want the computer to crash, so I do apologize to everyone this week. But it was just really great to see those elements just really shine. I think the animation, of course, is great, but it's those little added bits and pieces like the sound design, which is always perfect. Just the sound effects in general, like, and the music, it just all, like you said, Nicky, it felt very cinematic, very Star Wars. And I think I'd love to see, like, if they could, if the Clone Wars was released like this back in 2008, how people would have reacted. Because I still believe that people would attack the story more than they should have. Like, I still don't think that, like, the story wasn't that bad, but people didn't like the animation, so it would be interesting to see how that would have looked. Because it is a shame, I guess, that people just like, this sucks. And look where we are now.
Right.
Again.
Yeah.
George,
and you have to take that. I mean, you have to take it all. It's the journey story wise, but like part of that story is the way it improves and the way they just series to series have built and improved, and like that's also what's satisfying about it, because it's like we were there when it looked like when they ran weird, like we were there when the running was like little grasshopper legs. So like now it looks amazing. Now they can do anything, and it's part of what makes being into this all very like fulfilling, I guess.
And there was that really great shot. I think it's when Hunter first sees Fennec, and she does. I think she drops the blaster, and she does like the Winter Soldier knife flip up and catches it. I was like, I'm still jealous of people who can do that, even though they're animated. I'm like, oh, wow.
I like Hunter. That. I like Hunter literally bringing a knife to a gunfight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, okay, here we go. It's on.
The whole sequence is just great. Like you said, they had the taxis, seeing the space. I was really kind of hoping we'd see like Anakin Speeder maybe somewhere, because it's obviously like a generic model.
Yeah.
It's the Space Ford. You know,
Space Ford.
Everyone's got one. But it was
The
really
Camry.
cool. So I was
Everyone's
really
got a
hoping to
space
see-
Camry.
I was really hoping to see that maybe, but yeah, it was cool to see overall like the animation improve that way. The shot we saw in the trailer of the explosion with Fennec, the explosion behind Fennec,
Yeah.
the way that was done blew my mind. It's still, I can just keep replaying it in my head. The tumble down, the dark, and then the light from behind the explosion just emanating across the screen. It's like
Joel Aaron loves an
Really
explosion.
cool.
he does.
It's like all he's like, you got Rhydonium on this thing? You do now.
Good lord.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and that brings us to our final point of this week, which is who hired Fennec. Now, Tori, you mentioned that you had an idea of who this could potentially be. And I'm
I
very
had a
intrigued.
thought because timeline-wise, this person would be alive, and then also they were briefly shown in the last season of the Clone Wars, Dryden Voss.
Mic drop.
I feel like it could be an interesting thing. Now, is it super likely? I have no idea, but I think that's an interesting character that's like kind of touched on clearly, like we know who he is, but not like super expanded upon. I don't know, because like we were saying, I think it was before the stream went live. It's like, you know, I am always expand the universe. Give me someone I don't know. Give me someone I don't know. But it's a small galaxy, and we normally see people that we know.
Yep.
So, but I would
Yeah.
actually be happy with that because he's very interesting.
I think he fits
But I
the
think-
same.
Mm.
Just because I think he fits the same mold as Fennec, where it's like you get to build the legend now for these characters.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, and so I think because I even saw people who were like, "Did it have to be Fennec Shand?" And I'm like, "Does anything have to be anything?" It's like,
Yeah.
it's like,
Correct.
come on. It's like, did it have to be 9 movies? No, it didn't, but it is, and it's like, yeah, it's Fennec, so you know, use it to have fun. Like, grow this character. Like, we meet Fennec as the Mandalorian, the cold-blooded killer. Saw Fennec's like, nah, I'm good. Like, you're on your own. I ain't doing that. So, like,
Yep.
we know she is cold-blooded, blah, blah, blah. Like, we know she is this feared person in the galaxy. And it's like, build that. Like, you can do that now. So, yeah, I'm
Show me
totally
how.
down. Yeah, exactly. I'm totally down if it's someone like Dryden calling shots for people, because we get to see how he got to where he got in Solo.
I think to push Tori's point as well, and I guess I never really thought about Dryden, but it makes more sense the more I think about it. And that is something like you said about the Clone Wars, which is that in that scene when we saw young Kanan for like 5 seconds, there is no way, and obviously retrospectively now we know why. There's no way they made a model of that character just for that 5 seconds. Now we know they used them in the
That's
Bad
a good
Batch.
point. Yeah, with the Kanan,
Yeah.
it's like the exact same
Mhm.
scenario, and that's
Yeah, for
kind of
sure.
why I was surprised to see Kanan, but it also wasn't like a wild shock because you're like, oh, I saw him in the Clone Wars
Mhm.
Yeah.
briefly.
And I feel like they wouldn't
so-
have been like, I don't think they'd be like, oh, by the way, in my spare time, I just happened to make a model of Paul Bettany. I mean, we all do it
Right.
personally, in our personal time. But I
Like,
don't
y'all
think
don't need to know what I do on the weekends.
Yeah, because I think that scene would have been just as effective without him in it. You still have some of the other syndicate leaders that,
Mhm.
yeah, like it definitely feels pointed.
so. Yeah, I feel like it's definitely intriguing. I think it'd be great to see if there's like a few people maybe after Omega,
Well,
or maybe
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
But
at
you-
this point, if it is, I feel like it could be like the Kaminoans, but I feel like it would be so much more interesting if it was someone like Dryden Voss or whatever. And I feel like at this point, you know, everyone has their spies and their eyes in the sky and like who knows what. And, you know, oh, a like very important clone just escaped. So you have all these competing unseedy sections of the universe that are like, we need to get her.
I
Right.
thought
So-
that was an interesting thing about that whole aspect too. It's like you saw very clearly nobody's interested in the batch, right? Like they don't want them. They just want her. So like it's
Mhm.
kind of funny how like, you know, they're like, oh, they're after us, but it's really It's really her. So
Yeah,
Which-
that's part of the
Also,
reason
Kylie, go.
that I'm pretty sure it's not the Empire as an entity, because they wouldn't be hunting down Omega. They'd be hunting down the entire Bad Batch. But that being said, we do know that Palpatine has used has used bounty hunters in the past to do stuff for him. I don't want it to be Palpatine. It's always Palpatine, but
Same
you know.
on that. We're.
but I could see it.
Let the man rest. We're good.
Honestly.
I've seen enough
busy.
Palpatine for a lifetime. Just give him a little vacation or something. Just
Please.
I hope he's too busy. Hopefully,
he's too.
He's doing a lot of
I
stuff.
hope.
I mean, he
right now.
does have a new empire. It's kind
Yeah.
of-
He's
Kinda
doing
lot.
I think canonically he's busy renovating the Jedi Temple. Come
It
the
would-
Imperial Palace.
it would just prove he's like the worst micromanager of all time. If it's him, like literally, dude, delegate.
Also, I don't want to I'm gonna put it. Look, I'm sorry, but yes, we know that he hired bounty hunters in the Clone Wars because obviously at the time there was a lot of great bounty hunters and stuff going out. We know at this point that he's got one person on his list, and that's his godson in my headcanon. And that's his best boy, that's Ochi of Bastoon. So if he was going to hire anyone, it would be his absolutely headcanon. It's his godson. It's
Do
the
you think
person
we're
that he
gonna
has
see
to
Ochi?
hire. I would go crazy. I want to see that bad boy, that bad Batman boy go crazy. I want to see him mess up. I want to see him fall down the stairs. And then like, oh, it's okay. I'm fine. Where is he? Who am I getting? He picks up Boba Fett. He's like, is this Omega? He's like, no. I would love that. And I feel like to tie into the point as well, someone else who did hire bounty hunters a lot or had a tie with a bounty hunter is the Kaminoans.
Mhm.
And that doesn't necessarily mean that the Kaminoans crosses out Tori's point, because the Kaminoans could have gone to Dryden Voss to get involved, because obviously he worked with shady characters. Maybe like Dryden did a deal with another bounty hunter, aka Fennec, and they're going to split the deal maybe. And maybe that could potentially, like, what if Dryden Voss was involved with the Kaminoans? Like, what price would he have wanted out of that? Could you imagine if he was like, I want you to clone me in case I die? And then we get to see more Paul Bettany.
You just killed Tori. You just ruined all of her expectations, hopes, and dreams. She's like, nothing will do now. That face just said, ah.
Like Solo 2 ends with like a chamber opening, and it's just Paul Bettany like, I'm
Again.
back.
Have you heard of the ship of Theseus?
Yeah. Yeah. There definitely needs to be like a clone conversation like that. For sure.
That'd be
At least we know
awesome.
Paul loves Disney Plus too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Be like, yeah, it's a Disney Plus show. Oh, I'm in.
I'm sure
Let's
it would
go.
be hard to get him to record a few lines. I'm sure he would
Absolutely.
do it.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, for Jarvis all those years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just blackmail John Favreau. Be like, we need you.
Oh man.
I really would like to see. I guess that, yeah, it'd be interesting to see, like, maybe if it's like a whole hunt for, maybe Kaminoans put like a generic bounty, and then any bounty hunters are gonna go after them. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see where they go with
I
that.
think it ups the stakes if there's the bunch after, you know?
hmm
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
More
Yeah,
interesting.
It's kind of like reminds me of that shot in the first season of Mandalorian where all the little beepers go off in
Yeah,
the
like
bar.
that.
Yeah.
That's always great. I was watching John Wick 3 last night. Same thing happens there when when like he finally the switch flicks and like everybody's phone goes off. It's like, oh yeah, this is the good stuff. Put that.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I'd love to see that. Just trying to think of what other bounty hunters could show up if they were to do that. 'Cause we know like the generic ones. We got Embo, we got Cad Bane, or Singh.
Zuckus.
Busky Busk. Yeah, I think Cad Bane is like, it's one of those ones. It's kind of like Thrawn and Rebels, where it's like it's such a slam dunk, but still when it happens, it'll be like mind blowing. Like
Right.
you still won't expect it. It still won't feel real, but you'll see it. You'll see it, even though we're all sitting here like, you should put Cad Bane in the thing. So like, yeah, I feel like it's almost like it should happen, but I'll still be like shocked if it does.
Yeah, definitely. Like just guarding yourself
Yeah.
just in case.
Hey,
one.
not a bad
Oh
shout.
my god.
Not a bad shout.
We're the Imperial Senate Podcast, and we're always down for a moist, juicy boy like Dirge.
The urge for dirge.
Tori, your
The
first
urge.
appearance on
I was
the
gonna
show
say,
was very dirge
the
heavy.
urge for dirge.
Yeah.
Yes.
My only thing is if there's not jousting, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like there needs to be like some
But,
sort
Crucial
I
part of the
mean-
character.
It's part of the contract.
Yeah.
yeah.
Who voices Dirge?
Oh, I
You
don't
get
know.
you get to pick one. You get to pick any actor to voice Dirge.
Okay.
John C.
Yeah.
Riley.
Hey, hey guys.
That's my pick. I'm sticking with it.
Oh my gosh.
Hey guys, it's me. I'm Dirge.
I want
It's
it.
amazing.
Hey, Obi-Wan Kenobi here.
Oh. I'm trying to think.
Do they have to be alive to voice the character?
I mean, I would generally say yes.
It's
Charlie.
easier. We
It's much
wouldn't
easier to get it done.
we wouldn't have to go through the quantum tunnel to make it
Yeah.
happen.
Or
No
it could be
necromancy
you could
required.
get like an actor to do like a variation of like a person's voice, like we see with
Yeah.
What's his name? What's that actor's name? The one who's in Mary Poppins. His voice is always used in animation, like the bad guy from Wreck-It
Oh
Ralph.
gosh.
What's
I
his
don't
name?
know.
The one who speaks like that voice. But I'd love someone to do like a Vincent Price voice.
That'd be good.
Bill Hader doing Vincent Price.
I was thinking about it. I'm trying to figure this out.
Huge
I
Barry
wanna-
vibes.
I want to
Yeah,
make
man.
the right. I was thinking of Bill Hader though.
Barry Block is Dirge.
Dirge.
Yeah, it either has to be really badass or very not so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Correct.
I was gonna go former with Idris Elba,
Oh.
but
Might be too.
Okay,
cool.
that's really good. I'm down with that one.
I like
for
that one.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely on that one.
so we got Idris Elba, John C.
One more
Reilly, and
time.
Bill Hader. Come on,
We're
Lucasfilm-
consistent here.
Disney casting department.
This is
We are
perfect.
yours. We are yours to command. We got ideas.
You're
But-
welcome.
Yeah.
My question for you, Nikki, is for that: is it British or American accent?
This is full on loofah.
Okay, thank you. That's the right one.
Full on.
He just like picks up some dirt. He's like, I've tracked them. They fucked us out.
goodness.
Oh, man.
Oh, is that Galifianakis? It's one. We got one of Zach Galifianakis.
There we go. There you go.
Oh my gosh.
That'd be a
Oh,
good one.
God.
Between two Dirge. People like Idris Elba as Dirge. Maybe we'll put a poll up. Like, who would you pick out of these? So who do we have? We had
Exactly.
Bill Hader.
Oh, I didn't really pick one.
Okay, Tori, you got to pick one.
I'm like really on the comedic side
Yes.
because I think that would just be funnier, obviously. So wait, who do we have? Okay, John C. Reilly. Okay. What about like Hannibal Buress?
Oh
That'd be-
my
That'd be great.
That'd be so wild. That'd be so wild.
I would kind of love
I
Hannibal
live for
Buress
it.
to just show
Hey.
up as himself and be like, I'm Dirge.
That's kind of what I want. Like, I just want someone that has like a personality already, and like they don't really change who they
Yeah.
are.
Can someone
Oh,
edit the
that's
2003 Clone Wars series, and when Dirge gets cut up and he's about to explode, just put the audio clip of him going, "This fucking sucks, man."
Oh my my
God.
god.
Okay, we'll put that as a poll up on Twitter. I think we'll see what.
Good.
There we go.
Good.
Because that is Christ.
My goodness.
Right, that's Dirge done. Who do you think was in the voice? Everyone. Okay, no, we'll go that far. Well, that brings us to our final point, which is our overall thoughts and scores. This is where we rate the episode out of 10 Lulas. Oh my god, sorry, before we get into that, Bob's just put Ray Romano. I want
Or his
Ray Romano's
brother.
voice about
Or his
her.
brother, I forget the actor's name. The guy who plays
Robert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
Hey, Ray.
god.
Boba!
Oh my god.
Jesus.
Who Ray Romano has maybe like IG-88.
Ray Romano would play, if we're being honest, he would play the Aqualish listening to the headphones.
Yeah.
He'd be,
Hey,
that's
guys.
his vibe. That's his huge vibe right there.
Someone just died on my roof. Yeah, overall thoughts and score. That's where we rate out of 10 Lulas, and we have a new little thing to add to this now, starting this week, which is there's a mega. Oh, she's behind the thoughts. And score.
Behind the banner.
Oh,
Aw.
poor baby.
They were that banner.
There we
We
go.
don't need
Hey.
that, but we don't need that banner.
BFF.
So
Hang out with you,
cute.
Nikki.
Lucky man. Lucky man.
Tori, do you want to go first? What were your overall thoughts and like feelings about the episode, and what would you rate it out of 10 Lulas?
I'm still really excited. I feel kind of reserved in my overall excitement though. I feel like I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, right? Like there's something more here. I think it's probably coming in the next couple episodes, right? Like we're kind of a little ways in. I feel like we've kind of met everyone. We have some things going here. So I'm hoping it picks up, I guess is what I'm saying. I'm hoping it picks up a little more, but of course I'm intrigued and I'm excited to see where it goes. So, and then my rating, I guess,
Yes, out of 10.
like an 8, maybe?
8 out of 10. That's good.
Like an 8, yeah.
Solid.
Yeah.
Solid day's work.
Yeah, you don't have to feel too pressured because at the end of the day, these ratings mean nothing.
Don't matter one bit.
I just wanted to give 10 because I just want as many Lulas as possible.
Yeah.
So many Lulas. Oh.
Too many doodles. Nikki, you weren't here last week, so why don't you go first? So you get.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I thought this was a great episode for all the reasons we just spent the last hour talking about. It was beautiful, everything. One thing I did want to mention before we left, we had the title Animation Awe. I want to quickly go to Animation Awe because Wrecker and Omega, when he finds her in the tunnel and picks her up, and he's like, "I got you, little one." I was like, "Oh, like that." Their relationship is so awesome. So I really don't want him to snap. So,
But he got hit in
anyway.
the head again this week.
I don't want to think about it. Worry about that later. So yeah, I really love the episode. Can't give it full marks because there was no crosshair. So I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. It was beautiful.
Very cool. Claire.
Yeah. So I enjoyed this episode too. Some of the best animation that we've seen. I was about to say so far this season, but just leave it at so far because it's just been beautiful. The action sequences were animated incredibly. They kept this episode full of weird Easter eggs, which are my favorite thing on the planet. We already mentioned Thick Boy. We already mentioned Aqualish with headphones. We already mentioned the Buggles, the army of Buggles that are the reason that Omega went missing. Droid conversations, just absolute lovely, ridiculous weirdness. I live for the weirdness. The more I've watched it as well, the more it's grown on me. That's like kind of been my experience with all of these episodes, except the premiere. The premiere, I was instantly like, this is mine. This is my stuff. This is my thing right here. I enjoy it. Thank you for showing up, Dooku, just in time for ratings.
We've been blessed.
We have been with the kitty cat. Hey, buddy. But yeah, so I it was weird. It was fun. It was beautifully animated. There were moments of just like sheer dread, just the way that they animated Fennec, like almost like a wild feral cat. like when they run, she puts the helmet on and all of a sudden everything shifts and everything. Just the way that they did it, all real great. Enjoyed it. Had a good time with it. I wish that we had progressed a little bit. The one major, well, I guess it's not major, but my one little nitpick is I wish we would have seen, or at least alluded to, who could have been, she could have been calling at the end, but that's not really a complaint because I enjoyed it just as much as I would have what they've done that. So anyway, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 Lulas today. I won't be splitting any Lulas in half. So
remember, they've not been finished yet. They're
exactly,
only
they are half assembled. They're not cut in half.
Not destroyed.
We don't destroy Lulas here.
No.
We don't accept that in our show. Yeah, I really liked the episode. And I want to shout out as well. The episode was written by Christian Taylor, who, if you don't know, he wrote both the Mortis and Yoda arcs from season 6 of the Clone Wars,
Dang.
which are some of my favorites.
You went simple this time.
Right?
Yeah, actually.
So I was like, I don't know. I love that person's like he's obviously got a good track record of Star Wars episodes, especially in animation. So I was really happy with the episode. I thought it was a nice. I thought they did a really great job at not saying they slowed down per se, because it was a very action-filled episode. They balanced the action, but emotionally they sort of tempered it a little bit, because last week was such a adrenaline pump. Like there's only so much you can do when like Crosshair is like attacking civilians, and then we have to delve into his mind. I needed a little cool down from that, so we can, next time we see Crosshair, it's going to hit even more again. So I thought they did a really great job in terms of that. The animation was beautiful. Sound design was great. I love seeing all the astromechs from the droids, like seeing the puppies and the kittens. And I don't know what I'm talking about, Bill Cosby. I really, and I just really loved the overall like episode. I guess it really felt like a really fun mixture of both Rebels and the Mandalorian. I feel like there's a nice little blend of those. So I feel like I'm gonna give it. I was gonna give it an 8.5, but I can't really knock it down that much. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Maybe for the same reason as
That's
Nicky.
pretty good.
No Crosshair, so I can't give it a full 10. But also, it was kind of appreciative that he wasn't in it, because I needed some cool down time.
Well, last week was very character heavy.
Yeah.
That like deep, and this one didn't do as much of that, but still kept it flying.
This episode felt like the reason why I love watching the chase scene in Attack of the Clones, and that is the action, the score, and the visuals. Like, you leave this episode and you feel fulfilled because there's so much pure adrenaline pumping, and you're like, this is pretty cool to see these people fight. I had very much Empire Strikes Back vibes when you saw Omega hanging from the top of the building, I guess, which I get. That's the weirdest sewer ever, where it went from the sewer to the top of a building in about 5 seconds. Just taking a dump off top of a roof. So yeah, I overall, I think we gave it a decent score, maybe like 8 out of 10 overall. 8.5.
8.5.
8.5.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yay, math was easy this week.
Yay.
Math was easy this week, which is always good for us. Well, Tori, it's been a pleasure to have you on. Thank you so much for talking Bad Batch stuff with us. And we want to know, where can people find you?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was really fun. You can follow me at the Mandatorian on Instagram and on Twitter. You can follow my shop, Creature Cartel, at Creature Cartel and at Creature Cartel Shop, respectively, on Twitter and Instagram. Oh, wow, look at that.
Hey.
Thanks. Wow.
Look at that, Bad Batch fans. You may find
Got that
something
Bad
cool.
Batch Hunter headband.
There we go.
And I might have something else in the works too that's Bad Batch related, but we'll see.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe. And then you can check out my show, The Mandatorian Creed, on the Octo Radio Network. That is at Octo Radio on all social platforms. And that's on iTunes, Spotify, the whole deal for podcasts. And you can also check out the show that started it all on Octo Radio Octo Radio as well.
Your lightsaber dives were awesome.
Thank you so much. It was very fun.
Who doesn't love a lightsaber, right?
I mean, now I'm a lightsaber fanatic. I will say, it's not that I didn't like them, but I was kind of like the Jedi aren't like really my thing. I'm more of a like smuggler, bounty hunter kind of gal. So, but now I'm like, I want to buy a lightsaber. So,
I want to steal one. As a dead Jedi.
I want to make one. I want to buy one.
Your excitement over the Darksaber this week was pretty cool. It was like, I can't wait to get that as well. Let's do that. Definitely check out Octo Radio. Again, it's really a clever way to have both shows in one podcast so that you can listen to both and follow them all on that simple Twitter handle. And that way you have to follow 50 accounts, which is good because Twitter is crazy. And I don't know what I'm doing. Where can people find us? This is a bit of a weird episode. Don't forget to follow us by buying our merchandise or becoming a patron at patreon.com/Imperial Senate Podcast. All links are available in the description below. Claire, where can people find you and your stuff?
They can find
and everything.
Me on Twitter and Instagram at cstribs. You can catch me as well Monday, Wednesday, Friday on Kessel Run Transmissions. You can catch my new show coming soon, Night Sisters Night In. Have a glass of wine, chill out. It's going to be rad. Janae is my girl, and she's real great. Follow Kyber Sisters if you don't, because they're cool too. And that's pretty much it, I think.
Nice. And people can follow us at C-Strips, right? Everywhere?
Correctamundo, yes.
Nice. And what about you, Nikki?
Yep, you can follow me at Nequitious somewhere. There we go. On Twitter. And then if you're a patron for the Imperial Senate Podcast, you can listen to the Sacred Jedi Bricks, where friend Reed and I watch Freemakers, and we'll eventually move on to the rest of the Lego Star Wars content. And then you can also catch me on the One Done Film Club. That is at N Done Show, where we do all sorts of film commentaries for various franchises. Our most recent one is very punchy, and that's coming out very soon. So catch that there. Well, actually, we got 2 episodes left of the season, and they're going to be absolute bangers, so check it out.
Did you knock it out the park with this latest one?
I think we may have.
Interesting. Good to. Well, obviously you can find out everywhere on every podcast platform. Really great show, and if you want to listen to stuff that isn't great, you can find me on Twitter at CMWASHBY.
Don't you sell yourself short,
at
Ashby.
CharlieMWAshby. You can also support me on Patreon, Ko-fi, the links of which are available on my Twitter bio through my Linktree URL. And if you want to find my LinkedIn, it's on my Linktree as well.
Go endorse his skills. Go do that. That would be nice.
Please. Or
Isn't that what they do on LinkedIn? That too. Even better.
Yeah, endorse my skills. But that's all we've got time for this week. Again, don't forget to check out everything we've mentioned. Everything's going to be in the bio and the description as well. So if you want to just quickly look at the description and ignore what the hell we're saying, everything's there. Tori's shop link, the podcast, that's all there, and all our stuff is there too. So don't forget to check that out. That's all we've got time for this week. Again, thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, see ya.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.